a really incredible moment for all of us, and we are so pleased that we are really close to the finish line. From about 2008 to 2015, this building was the home of our resource center. When we first started, people used to walk right in that door over there to receive services. And now it will be home to 10 individuals who are currently homeless. And at the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness, we know that housing is a foundation on which everything else is built: health, hope, and opportunity. South State Street Residences, say that 10 times fast, stands here because of vision, determination, and above all, collaboration. This project reflects what can happen when supporters, donors, funders, and developers all come together with a shared belief that everyone deserves a home. This project would not have happened without the kindness and patience of the leaders of South Congregational Church, who allowed us the time and grace to secure funding for this project. Thank you very much. Big thank you to Hutter Construction, Warren Street Architects, Wilcox and Barton, and our own Mark Fagan, who shepherded this transformation of this project from start to finish. I want to thank Senator Shaheen and her office for supporting our application for congressionally discretionary spending grant funds, which made this project possible. And we're so pleased that the senator is here with us today to share a few words.
Thank you all very much. Good afternoon. Thank you, Karen, and to everyone at the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness for all of the great work that's gone on here. Let me just start with a little commercial on congressionally directed spending. Because this is what we used to call earmarks. And earmarks kind of got a bad name. But I would argue that we in New Hampshire are the best people to determine how some of this tax money that we send to Washington should get spent. And that's what congressionally directed spending is all about. So when you hear people raising concerns about it, tell them it funds these kinds of projects that are important to the community and important to our state. So I thank you all for everything that you've done to make this happen. You know, homelessness is something that we're seeing more and more of. And we're seeing it because there are a number of underlying issues, and you all have worked very hard to try and help address those. But one of the fundamental issues is the cost of housing and the fact that we're not producing enough housing for the people who need to be housed. And between 2022 and 2024, our homelessness population increased by 40% in New Hampshire. So that's a statistic that doesn't do anything to point out the very real personal stories behind each person who is left homeless. And that's what you all have worked so hard to address. What we need to do is to recognize that we've got to go at this issue from a whole range of ways that include not just helping with the underlying causes of homelessness, but helping to make sure that we're building the housing that is affordable. And sadly, home ownership in New Hampshire hit its highest price in June ever. And so there are a whole range of things that we need to do and a lot of policy decisions. What we don't need to do is, sadly, what we're seeing come out of this administration in terms of executive orders that fail to recognize what causes homelessness and suggests that what we need to do is to institutionalize people, to punish people for the fact that they're homeless. That is not a way to address this issue. What you are doing here with the city, with the church, with the coalition is what's going to make a difference for people. And we need to support policy decisions that make that happen. So thank you all so much. Mayor Champlin, thank you. Thank you to the New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority. to everything that you all have done to make this new housing a reality for the people for whom it's going to make such a difference. Thank you all.
We also want to thank the City of Concord, who really stepped up and helped us overcome multiple hurdles through this project. As many of you know, Mayor Champlin is committed to ending homeless in our city, and this project is a representation of that commitment that he has. Yeah.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Senator Shaheen, for your great remarks. I would just like to underscore what the senator said. Housing, more housing, and affordable housing is essential to reducing homelessness. It's not the only thing. It's a multifaceted challenge, but that is important. I'm proud that in 2020, Concord was estimated to, or was stated to have 58% of the affordable housing, the income-restricted housing, in the 20 community central New Hampshire region. And that's despite the fact that, and these two I always get mixed up, we have, I think, around 37% of the population and about 39% of the housing. I get the thumbs up from Mr. Thompson, thank you. And since that report, since 2020, we've added, I think, 374 units, 375 units of additional units of affordable housing. So we are committed to addressing this. I also will mention that in 2020, 8 of those 20 communities had no affordable housing. So we'd appreciate the support of the surrounding communities in meeting this challenge. I cannot speak without saying what a wonderful partner the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness has been. I've been engaged with them since Mayor Boulay appointed me to the city committee on the steering committee on Concord's plan to end homelessness, both in that capacity as a city councilor, but also as a volunteer. And it's a wonderful organization. They have stepped up numerous times. They stepped up when our local churches decided that 10 years was long enough to support a temporary winter emergency shelter, and they created a permanent emergency shelter. They have worked with us to just recently to formulate a winter emergency shelter, cold weather sheltering plan. And now, today, we're opening and having the ribbon cutting for this facility. I'm very proud, as Karen said, of the city's partnership with the CCEH in a number of areas, but specifically here, our Community Development Advisory Committee spearheaded applying for $500,000 in CDFA funds, which went into this project. And we also managed to assist them with a small infrastructure problem, which fortunately was addressed. And so thank you, CCEH, for what you're doing. Thank you, Senator Shaheen, for your important role in making this a reality. And you're all sitting out in the sun, so I'm going to stop right now.
So I do want to give a great thank you to all our funding partners. So the City of Concord, through sponsoring our CDBG grant application, Eastern Bank Foundation, the Community Development Finance Authority and their issuance of tax credits, and in addition to the congressionally designated spending that we received through Senator Shaheen's office, the New Hampshire Housing had really stepped up for us. When construction prices went up and we were unsure if we could even get through this project, New Hampshire Housing was the one that came through. So I'd like to introduce Ryan Pope, New Hampshire Housing's Multifamily Senior Director.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Ryan Pope, the Senior Director of Multifamily Development and Finance at New Hampshire Housing. For those of you who don't know us or what we do, we are an independent nonprofit corporation established by state statute to promote, finance, and support housing solutions for the people of New Hampshire. I'm here today because our organization has the distinct honor of partnering with the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness and a host of other agencies, funders, supporters, whose collective efforts have brought us all here today. While I'm relatively new to New Hampshire Housing, I am not new to the work of this coalition. Forgive my reminiscence, but I moved in this moment by the ways our paths have crossed over the years. I was first connected to this organization by my former colleague, Kate Gallagher, to discuss innovative methods to place households struggling to find apartments that would accept their housing choice vouchers. I also remember your openness to allowing a host of bankers from across the state descend on one of your properties to help prepare and paint it for new tenants as part of New Hampshire Bankers Association's inaugural NH Banks Give Back campaign. My work shirt is still flecked with white paint from painting that railing, by the way. And now, I am happy to add to those memories today's festivities, where we celebrate the opening of a newly renovated facility that creates 8 much-needed homes for our neighbors. New Hampshire Housing's contributions to this project were largely in the form of affordable housing funds directed by the state and an allocation of project-based vouchers to support the people who will call this place home. I would be remiss if I failed to mention that the future availability of these particular resources is going to be limited by budgetary pressures at the state and federal level for this foreseeable future. While it makes replicating today's success more difficult, we at New Hampshire Housing, in collaboration with partners like the Concord Coalition, recognize that the work must continue and that this place can serve as an example for the great things that happen when people put themselves aside and come together to lift each other up. Thank you for coming, thank you for being part of something bigger, and congratulations to the Concord Coalition, and especially to those who will call this place home. Thank you.
And lastly, I want to give a very large thank you to our staff. This is hard work, working with these people. And once they get housed, getting them housed is hard enough. But once they get housed, keeping them housed and supporting them through their housing journey is a lot of work. So thank you to everyone for coming and helping us, as we've been calling this project, our coming home. And while we still have a little work to do before we're able to move clients in, thank you to everybody who has adopted apartments. Thank you to Budget Blinds for doing all the window coverings, which is a very big piece. We're going to do the ribbon cutting on the front steps, and I invite all of you to explore the units that are open, and once we finish cutting the ribbon, come up front and take a look around.